Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer RC. I'm at CTSR again. We're at the ROCH 2024 Championship. I'm back at CTSR on-road championship upstairs. Practice and seating day today, so everyone's getting their pits set up. And I've already been here for a few hours, done my practices, and we're about to start seating. Yeah, we are ready. Now, we're only at the start of quals, but I'm going to show you a qual one with the Mugen MTC2R because my confidence level of making it to the mains with this car is not high based on what happened yesterday in seeding. I was having quite a few issues with breakages. All right, I just finished seed with the Mugen, and I actually did complete my seed run, but on the very end of the straightaway, after I was done, I crashed and I snapped a link. I don't have spares, so I'm going to have to be beg, borrow, and pleading from someone to see if they have a link to get me back in action. I don't have a spare for that. I'm surprised it broke. Also, these knuckles, I've had a lot of hard hits on the front, and the knuckle just ends up bending. As you can see, it's got a big bend down. I just end up bending it back. So if that was plastic, I probably would have already gone through 5 of them. Yeah, this is all good, but then you end up breaking something more expensive and harder to find because people don't end up breaking those usually. Look at this, it's also exploded the bearings on my front axle from the impacts. I don't know if it was like that before I went out and I didn't notice, but I feel like I would have known ahead of time. That's pretty bad. Both outer races of the bearings are gone. So that means I've just showered the track with shrapnel from this car from my seating round. You can only laugh. Anyway, I thought that was my only brake, but I also now have to replace the axle because it's got these bearings. I do have one spare front axle, but if I lose more bearings, I'm out. Alright, so another racer is here that has this car, thankfully, the older version and this newer version, and he's got a link, so I'm going to be able to get a replacement. This is what I got to build, a 68mm gap link, and I actually have another one of these axles that I've already previously built in preparation for this might happen. So I built this axle and it's here and it's ready to drop in the car. So that's a good thing. And yeah, that should get me going for the quals tomorrow. Here's my axle taken apart and here's the bearings that exploded in it. And I just spoke to another one of the racers and he's had that happen to him as well. So yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a friction-free design, but not if they explode. All right, so we're going to go out and try and go for Q1 with the MTC2R. The reason why I'm going to record Q1 before any mains is because my confidence that I'm going to reach the mains is low based on what's been happening with the car. And from one of the wall hits, I ended up snapping a turnbuckle. I had to replace the turnbuckle on this guy. I had to replace that steering on turnbuckle. And these are the grubs. These are the grub screws that have been pulling out of the hubs. These are the stock 6 mils from the bottom, so I've replaced them with longer ones. So we've been changing the geometry a little bit. There's little shims in here. There we go. This is the best way to see it. So you see that 3 mil shim on the bottom? I ended up having to go to a 10 mil screw because the stock is 6 with a 1.5 mil shim, and it keeps pulling out. So the 6 mil screws on the bottom is not enough thread engagement into the hub. So I've ended up changing it to a 10 mil, but because the 10 mil can interfere with the axle, I've gone to a bigger spacer. So that's going to throw off my geometry of the rear bit. I don't know how it's going to handle. In the front, I've done something similar, but with an 8 mil and a 1.5. That's the orange shim on the bottom is a 1.5 mil shim with an 8 mil screw. Stock is 1.5 to 6, so I've given 2 more mils of thread engagement. So the car should be stronger now. We're just going to see how it works out for this Q1 main. All right, we got through tech. We're going to go out for the first Q1 main with the Mugen, so I can actually show you a race. Well, not a race, but I'm actually going to get to show you going around on black carpet for the first time. Because all my other attempts fell apart before we got there. All right, here we go, queuing up for sedan.
All drivers are finished.
Allez-y, messieurs, tour de pratique. Go ahead and practice laps. Let's line up, boys. Joe, Noah, John, Louis, Marc-André.
That was a hard hit. Lost power. That's full throttle. Something's failed. Q1. Man, I only did 6 laps. But this is a seed where you get to string your best 3 laps together, so hopefully out of those 6 I string 3 together and I don't fall down too far. We'll see.
Still going?
Oh, I broke out, so don't worry about it. All right, so why I pulled off there, it just like lost power. You just try and accelerate and it's like just bogs down like something's binding, but it feels like it's electronic limiting. So gotta figure out what's going on with this car and then try it again for Q2. All right, so it felt like a power issue, but it's actually the lower front arm snapped. These, I just replaced these. I just upgraded these with the bracing. I did get through a race event with them, but yeah, I hit the wall hard. As you saw, it snapped the front arm, and then it was driving okay, but it's got like low power, I guess, because of the resistance. Something it like felt the resistance was putting too much load on it. Okay, it's fixed. I had one stock front arm left, so I've got the front arm replaced, the one without the bracing, but bracing didn't save me. The bracing, it still broke, even with the bracing, so it still snapped. Anyway, we're gonna go for Q2 now that the car's fixed and see if it's any better. Back up and running again, but we'll see how we do. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, you want to talk to me, comment down below. As always, thanks for watching.